Hey Future Twig, Past Twig here once again, and with another card call-out for everyone. Today's card's going to be a multicolored card, in particular blue, white, or azorius, and we're going to be looking at Dance of the Manse, which is our first X-cost card. So 1 white, 1 blue, and then X-cost. And what this card is it's a sorcery that allows you to return up to X target artifact and or non-aura enchantment cards, each with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and if X is 6 or more, those permanents come back as 4/4 creatures in addition to their other types. So this card has got a lot of synergies, and I love this card because it's also a kind of win condition, because there are a ton of decks that throw tons of artifacts and enchantments into the graveyard, and this gives a way to get more value out of those, especially because a lot of artifacts and enchantments contain enter the battlefield effects, and allows you to perhaps have a big swing where you pump a lot of mana into this, bring back a lot of cards all at once. They're all 4/4s, and if you can give them haste, using stuff like Crafting Drawbridge that we've talked about earlier in this series, you can swing with them all for the win. And look at an EDH rec, it's a little bit higher in terms of cost, but it is in about 50,000 decks, or almost 4% of all decks on EDH rec. So fairly popular, and definitely deserves that spot given all of its synergies. And looking at synergies, we're looking at stuff like one of my personal all-time favorite commanders, and actually the first commander I ever built a deck around, Tamishi Reality Architect. Tamishi is all about returning artifacts and or enchantment cards from the graveyard directly to the battlefield, so this obviously slots right in. It's right with what Tamishi wants to be doing, and it gives you, again, that win con where you can bring back a ton of stuff all at once for a massive turn where you swing out and potentially kill all of your opponents. And even if you do not directly have a graveyard to battlefield artifact or enchantment synergy, there are tons of blue-white style commanders that want to be casting tons of artifacts and enchantments. And inevitably, if the way Magic goes, if board wipes, you're going to have a lot of those end up in the bin. So having commanders like Alayla allows you just to have a ton of artifacts potentially in the bin, which you can bring back and then help swing out with that token style strategy that she's very popular for. And last but not least, you've got a little bit of a weird selection here with Amaranth the Lustrous, where this is a card that whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you can look at the top cover of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand. So obviously with blue, you can stack the top of your library, and this could lead to you bringing back a ton of artifacts or enchantments from the graveyard to the battlefield of Dance of the Manse, and then potentially drawing a ton of cards off of that if you've got a ton of artifacts or enchantments on the top of your deck. And that's kind of all I got for you today. Thank you once again for tuning in to another card call out, and have a wonderful day. Take care.